What's going on, everybody? This is Jeff with AltCoin Buzz. So today we're going to talk about the prospects of the cryptocurrency market and some really encouraging things to keep an eye on, despite all of the turmoil that we've gone through the last week or so, week and a half, if you want to call it that. Now, some of the things that I'm going to talk about in this video include Wall Street and some of the involvement that we see coming down the pipe with Wall Street's involvement and how they're taking out an investment, not just to invest in the actual coins, but actually invest in the infrastructure development of the market itself. Also, we're going to talk about how more and more people are now coming into cryptocurrency than ever before, yet we still have less than 1% mainstream adoption. So here I posted on our Twitter. Thank you to everyone who's been engaging in our Twitter and our social media posts outside of YouTube also. But thank you to everyone who's been dropping comments on YouTube. Do you think Wall Street banks fear the cryptocurrency market could eventually outpace the traditional stock market? You know, when the JP Morgan CEO would say something like Jamie Dimon, he would say something that would say Bitcoin is a fraud, or another big bank cartel, or even a high-level government executive would say something, or a fiat level governance policymaker, right, would say something that would create FUD in the cryptocurrency space. If you really think about it, it wouldn't be too far-fetched to suggest that maybe they see the new cryptocurrency age as a threat to what they know and hold so true and hold on to so much, because when they see something come up so fast, they become haters, right? It's like if you're the best player in basketball, you have a choice. You can either embrace, like Jordan could either embrace Kobe, or he could put down Kobe when Kobe was coming up, right? Or Kobe could do that with LeBron. So it's better to always just embrace it and accept it and adapt and overcome. But because we have so many older folks in the stock market that just don't like technology, and they don't see a way that they'll ever actually understand the technology that we have in this new age, which at some point we ourselves will be old people who will not understand the new age's technology. So I'm aware of that. You know, those who live in glass houses shouldn't throw rocks, right? If we live in glass boats, or if we're floating in glass boats, we shouldn't throw rocks at our neighboring canoe, because they'll throw a rock back at us and that could sink the boat, right? So, but the point is that we also can't turn a blind eye to the fact that these old, lack of a better word, dinosaurs, that's what they are to me, is dinosaurs, 80 years old and older. And if they talk negatively about cryptocurrency, I take their wisdom about the markets and finance very serious. But when they put down the new technology, I just can't really fully embrace that as the truth, because they don't like email, they don't like smartphones, and they never will, and they're just completely cool with that, right? So, so when they put it down, I think to myself, that's why. It's because they see this like new tech that they have to learn, that they don't want to learn, coming up and stealing some of that thunder, or taking some of that thunder, right? So here we go, 740 votes. Let's refresh this page and see where that's at. 779 votes. So most of you guys say yes also, and then the obvious, there is more to it, which means there's more to it about why they wouldn't like it, like maybe there really is some underlying concerns. Now, one thing I do want to say is I recently took out a position in the stock market, because I do also invest in the stock market, a big position in GoPro, okay? And I noticed when I looked at the GoPro market cap, because GoPro's on a dip, big time, like a big time dip. Like if it doesn't go up, I'm going to be like, oh shoot. I was like, man, I've been using GoPros for a couple of years now. And I've got a bunch of GoPro cameras for when I'm out, filming things around the world or whatever. I use the GoPro Karma. Not the drone. I used the DJI drone, but the GoPro Karma. Anyway, I noticed they had a $990 million market cap, and I was like, man, there's a lot of companies in the cryptocurrency market that haven't done nearly a fraction of what GoPro's achieved, and they have a higher valuation than GoPro by a long shot. So then I got to thinking, I was like, whoa, is cryptocurrency kind of overvalued right now? And then I was like, either that, or there's not a lot of money in the stock market anymore because people lost confidence in the stock market. Me personally, I left out of the stock market when I was younger after several attempts to try and get in there. And I did notice that it was just very difficult to make money, but most of it was because I got in at the wrong time. That's how I know you don't buy at all-time highs, you buy on the dip. And once I realized the power in that, then I fixed all my situations with the stock market, and I'm back in there. But back when I used to make mistakes and buy things at all-time highs, and then when it would go down, I'd be like, whoa, man, I'm bored with this position. But in the stock market, you have to wait a long time for things to mature. But anyway, the point is that I was like, man, is cryptocurrency overvalued? Like $990 million valuation for GoPro. But then I thought, well, it's been a lot higher than that. I think when GoPro first hit the market, it was a multi-million dollar stock. So they've taken a big hit. They've lost investor confidence. But if we go to our present market, these are companies that have more valuation than a GoPro. Most of them are all tech companies, though. That says something about tech. This one right here is the real deal. Steam is the real deal. But most of the, like Populous hasn't even done anything yet. Omise Go hasn't really done anything, but it's worth more than GoPro by 2. Neither of these guys done anything, but because they're tech. I mean, that's the real deal. That's the direction to go. So, but this is not a point. This is not a video to talk about how overvalued cryptocurrencies are. It's to talk about the future of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and all that looking very exciting. Now, as we know, last week, January 8th, actually, we know that Binance, Bitfinex, Bittrex temporarily say no to new users. So we know that this has actually happened with Bittrex for a while, where they were getting so many users they couldn't handle the load of new signups. And now I know so many more people who are jumping into cryptocurrency, more girls than ever before, actually. Women are jumping into cryptocurrency like never before, whereas women were usually the ones kind of not really wanting to participate. Now, a lot of women that I know, because I do have quite a few female friends, actually, most of them that I encouraged to get into Bitcoin that said no at first are now like, hey, how do I really get into Bitcoin? Like, what do I got to do? Can you help me? And of course I say, of course, yes, I can. But, they want to get into cryptocurrency now more than ever. And a lot of even male friends on this last dip signed up for cryptocurrency that found reason to say no before. And now they're like, yes, how do I get involved in this? So so more and more people are coming into cryptocurrency than ever before. And even the people who still are not participating in cryptocurrency are starting to really take it serious and look to jump in. So that gives me reason to be excited. Now, if all these people are jumping into cryptocurrency, why not? Why is the price of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies still so low? Well, that's because the big money is still on the sidelines. Now, why is the big money still on the sidelines? Well, they're building out their infrastructures. So you have this right here. For example, let me take a look at this. So this is on Finance Magnets. Morgan Stanley becomes second Wall Street bank to clear Bitcoin futures. Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs are now the only 2 banks clearing Bitcoin futures for select institutional clients. So they're stepping in. Wall Street is a major mechanism. Some of the smartest people on earth are living in that area of Manhattan on Wall Street. And because they're so big, they're a juggernaut. They're in massive infrastructure. They move very slow, but they move very powerfully. And Wall Street jumping in like this, they don't just jump in like we do with, taking 10% of our net worth and just putting it into cryptocurrency. Although they could be getting to that point, but I don't think 10% of Wall Street's wealth is in cryptocurrency or even close to going into cryptocurrency just yet. But just imagine what will happen when 10% of Wall Street's wealth ends up going into cryptocurrency. And then beyond that, where it will go, it could eventually end up ultimately replacing the stock market, because the stock market, the way I see it, is on the verge of being a dying mechanism if it does not, it's not a dying mechanism. It's not a dying market, but I could see how in 10 years it could potentially be under threat of getting outdone by the blockchain. But I think it'll still be there. It probably more than likely will still be there, just like Forex will still be there, and bonds, and so the stock market will still be there. But the cryptocurrency market, is anticipated to make up 10% of global Forex. So that tells you at least something to be excited for. And I don't know exactly what the number of the global Forex is, but last time I looked at it, I believe that would give us an estimated valuation dependent upon how much you would, dependent on what the number is that you're pulling from as far as money and total circulating supply all around the globe. I think that gave us around a $7 to $10 trillion market cap. Now, that's just a projection that I'm making, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, and please do. Let me know what 10% of the global Forex would look like, but I believe it was around 7 to 10 trillion. So this is just, that's me shooting from the hip, I admit, but at least when I'm shooting from the hip, I'm saying, hey guys, stand by, I'm shooting from the hip. Okay, so if we're at 583 billion, and you know that possibly we could be headed towards 7 to 10 trillion dollar market cap, you could see we'd be looking at some massive price injections into this market here, sitting at $583 billion. So to you early investors, all that would tell me is that that's maybe, if it does get to that where it makes up 10% of the global Forex, you could see why all you really have to do is hold pretty much in strong companies. Because if you don't invest in strong companies in your holding, that could be a bit of an issue, because if they go under or they're unable to maintain, and it's possible, even if we go back to my previous comments about a lot of these companies not even doing a fraction of what GoPro has achieved in the last 5 years or 10 years with GoPro, really, to have valuations that are far exceeding the 100 million or the $1 billion market cap that GoPro has, just under $1 billion market cap. Some of these could be potentially overvalued unless they really deliver in a big way. So they've got to deliver in big ways, and I'm not so convinced that all of these with over a $1 billion market cap are going to deliver in a big way. AltCoin could, but they've also got a lot of competition, and maybe they will, maybe they won't. Steam could, more than likely, if they keep the momentum which they've been acquiring, they should keep going also. I'm a big fan of Steam. So it's just very interesting to keep an eye on all that. Now, like I said, you also have foreign asset classes. So you have Japanese e-commerce giant launches 7 cryptocurrency exchange, asset cryptocurrency exchange, January 12th. So that's kind of old news, but fairly new news. Japanese e-commerce conglomerate DMM Group has launched a homegrown cryptocurrency exchange called DMM Bitcoin in a second market venture. So you can see how this kind of news it's also developing in other countries. So stock exchange, New York Stock Exchange is, for the most part, only Americans participate in the New York Stock Exchange, right? Well, in the cryptocurrency market, you have everything from Korea, Japan, the EU, or countries in the EU, United States, even some Latin American countries participating in cryptocurrency trading and whatnot. So that adds more opportunity for market capitalization to be there, right? Now, obviously with that, you've had China pull out, you've had Russia come in and out, you've had India kind of consider jumping in, and you've got several other larger countries that are participating in the G20 that might not be so bullish on the overall market cap, or the overall market, but for the most part, if one country in the G20 does it, the other 19 will follow. And usually the United States, Canada, Australia, England, and maybe China are the biggest, in Japan are the biggest influencers in the G20. So when the news comes out about the G20 and Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, you want to pay attention to that. To those of you who don't know what the G20 is, it's the global 20. It's the top 20 global nations with influence. If they say it's the G8, it's the top 8 global influencing countries: United States, Canada, Australia, Japan, China. That's the G8. So the G20, when they come together and they meet up, that's basically what you're looking at. So I just wanted to point this out, some of the things to consider and keep in mind, and stay up to date on what's going on and why there's some really amazing things to look forward to. Obviously, the government still stands in the way of any sort of FUD or anything that comes out, and we're not out of the woods with FUD. As you know, problems pop up. It's just like you fix one leak in your boat. What's to say that another leak doesn't just pop out, right? So until we stop putting bubble gum and bandages over these leaks, and we start actually like making stronger infrastructures, which only can take time. It can't be done overnight because you can't project some of these challenges that come up. But with time, being invested in strong projects in the market for the long haul should prove to be fairly profitable for those of you who are willing to hold for the 2 to 5 year bull run that we appear to be in. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Thank you to everyone who's been liking these videos, because that's what I have asked you guys to do, is to support this channel, is to like the videos. Thank you to everyone who's done it. Drop a comment below, participate in the community. Also, follow us on Twitter and stay up to date with these kind of polls. 1,400 people voted. 68% yes, Wall Street is threatened by cryptocurrency. You can also follow us on Instagram, AltCoin Buzz. We're also developing a Steemit page. You can look us up on Steemit and DTube. AltCoin Buzz, although we have not set that up fully yet, it is in the process of being developed. Discord, Telegram, we're on there also. You can follow this channel and get up-to-date notifications by clicking that bell when videos like this drop. We'll see you all next time. This is Jeff.